Okay, is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we'll be moving on to the next module, and uh, so we studied in the last class, and we studied about the third module, and one of the basic principles that we used in that was JIT, just-in-time manufacturing. So just-in-time manufacturing was based on the principle that at the time of demand, we are producing the products that has to be manufactured, and then sending the order to the customer. That is what was the concept of JIT, or just-in-time manufacturing. But the problem that arises with just-in-time manufacturing was that there was a time or a period for making the product. The product making process has to take some time. So once an order is received, a certain period of production time is kept, and then further manufacturing is done and the product is produced. So there is a time gap between the order and the shipping and giving the necessary product to the customer. So there is a difference or a time huge gap between the product. So it depends upon the product that is being manufactured. So keeping that in mind, lean manufacturing is a technology wherein we are producing the products, but we are producing it lean, in a lean manner. So what is this lean? Lean is nothing but we are reducing the waste. That is what is meant by lean. So we know that every production process there is a waste particle. So you guys are studying machine tool lab, right? You are doing things at lathe. So in each and every operations, you see that there is a wastage of material, right? You are using the drill bit and you are doing certain operations, and with the bit we are throwing away certain portions of the material that you can see, right? Drill bits are there, and then each bit of material that is removed from the workpiece is then collected on that tray beneath the lathe. So we are seeing a wastage of material. So in lean manufacturing, we are reducing the waste that is accumulated. Okay, that is what is mean lean manufacturing. It doesn't mean we are using that waste for another purpose. Okay, lean manufacturing is based on the ideology of always minimizing the waste. Waste may occur, but we are finding a design process, or we are methodizing a production process in which this will be the best way for reducing the waste. That is the basic ideology. So it is written here. You can see lean manufacturing is a production process based on the ideology of maximizing productivity. That is one of the main point, maximizing productivity while simultaneously minimizing waste within a manufacturing operation. That is a basic concept of lean manufacturing. So when compared with just-in-time manufacturing, always the products is available. That is what is the difference. So once a order is coming up and the customer needs a product, we are able to send the product or ship the product within a desired period of 1 week, or even 3 days, or 1 day if you're going to a market and all. So that is the basic difference between lean and JIT manufacturing system. So, however, we are always maximizing productivity by means of reducing waste. So, waste may occur. That is, it depends. So, various processes may be present to produce a particular product, and each process can achieve the same thing, but each process may contain certain amount of wastages. Okay, the amount of wastage in which process is less is termed as a lean manufacturing system. So various procedures may be there for producing the product and various steps may be involved. So each and every process we are studying and we are optimizing a procedure in which the waste produced will be less. Such a manufacturing is lean manufacturing. So the next point you can see, the lean principle says waste is anything that doesn't add value that the customers are willing to pay. That is what lean principles looks at. So they are looking at the possibility that the waste that is occurring, the customer does not pay. The customer pays for the product itself, not the waste. So any wastage that occurs, suppose so many raw materials you have, right? And even the workpiece you are doing in a lathe lab, the drill bit, if you are making that lathe workpiece and you are producing a product, the product has the value, but the waste does not have any value. So we are that waste is a valueless product. So we don't have, or the customer does not pay any value for the waste. So they are terming that as a disadvantage. So we have to reduce the waste, or the waste must be nullified. That is what lean manufacturing does. So how does this work? That is the next step. So the core principle of implementing lean manufacturing is to eliminate waste to continually improve a process. So first, when a product is being released into the market, first I have already told you it is being studied, various designing procedures. Then we are analyzing various steps in which it can be produced. Maybe in one way it can be produced easily, but there may be waste. Then in another way it will take much more time, but waste will be less. So various procedures, and many number of procedures may determine the manufacturing work. But in lean manufacturing, the core principle is always to eliminate waste to improve a process. So many processes are there, but in lean manufacturing, they are determining a process not by the value or the cost in which it is produced, but the way waste is eliminated. That is the process they will select as the best process. So it is not in terms of reducing the cost or an economic value or any other sort of processes or processes in short time. That is, none of it matters in lean manufacturing. Lean manufacturing always selects a process by means in which the waste is less or the waste is eliminated in such a process. That is selected as the lean manufacturing mode of production. Next point, by reducing waste to deliver process improvements, lean manufacturing sustainably delivers value to the customer. So I have already told you before, there is no value for the cost, right? Customer always pays for the product. So in lean manufacturing, if you are reducing the waste, that means the only value to the product or the value we are giving to the product is naturally obtained to us by means of customer. So we will be earning more profit. So always we know that the product that is produced will never be sold at the exact price of manufacturing. Okay, there will be a manufacturing cost, the cost incurred during manufacturing. There will be inventory cost, sales cost, etc. So each and every cost may be there in during a manufacturing process. Apart from that, the industry puts a higher price for the product to incur profits, right? To incur profits, we have to always manufacture or send the product to the market at a higher price than the manufacturing cost so that we will obtain a certain profit. So in lean manufacturing, if you are reducing the waste, so the waste occurred is less, or if you are eliminating the waste, the value of the products itself can be added to the value of the product. Sorry, the value of the raw material can itself be added to the value of the product apart from that, we are uh, putting a higher price for the product. So the profit incurred will be much higher than the earlier steps. In the earlier steps with the waste, we will be incurring less profit, because up to a certain value only you can raise the value of a product. But when comparing with the lean manufacturing step, the waste produced is nullified. So majority of the raw material is being used for the production of the product, thereby obtaining more quality or more profit when selling that product. So that is how lean manufacturing work. Okay, next point. The type of waste include processes, activities, products or services that require time, money or skills but do not create value for customer. So these are the wastes that are included in lean manufacturing. It is not only the raw materials that is eliminated, but it may be a process that is a waste process, maybe some cleaning activities, so maybe a drying agent. So some type of processes they determine as a waste process. If you eliminate such a waste, then the cost incurred will be less. Next is activities. So activities in the sense that um, maybe the worker, the time you are giving for a leisure time for the worker may be higher, means that is a waste, right? We are, if you can utilize the maximum work of the worker, we will be able to produce more products within the greater time. So such activities are termed as a waste. Similarly, many activities that are present, and such waste are considered, such activities are considered as a waste, and if eliminated, we will incur more profits. Then products or services that require time. So time is one of the factor that is affecting lean manufacturing. So anything that you can produce at a short period of time is termed as a much better lean manufactured product. So time is a if you are taking much time for the product production, then it is termed as a wastage of time. So that is another concept or the waste that occurs in lean manufacturing. Then comes money or skills, but do not create value for the customer. So the skills. So you know that for a fresher to come into an industry, they are always needed to be done. Uh, they are to be trained to do the particular set of operations. So this training period, actually they are not working, they are not producing the product, or they are not doing sufficient work. So such a thing is termed as a waste in terms of lean manufacturing. So once lean manufacturing method is selected, such trainers or such freshers are avoided, and only skilled laborers are used, so as to reduce the time or to obtain much products at the given time. So that is the function or the waste that occurs in lean manufacturing. Once these types of waste are eliminated, the lean manufacturing method of production starts. So that is how it is done. Then this can cover underused talents, excess inventories, or ineffective or wasteful processes and procedures. So they cover underused talent. So some people may be skilled at certain works, and if you are not using that people for that particular work, then it is okay. If you are not using that people for that particular work, then we are incurring or we are incurring much less production processes. So we have to use the people required for the particular skill, and in according to the skill, we have to categorize the people that is working for various departments. That is one of the area that it covers. Then lean manufacturing covers excess inventories. So excess inventories deals with inventory holding cost. We have studied that in previous modules. So inventory cost is another waste that occurs in lean manufacturing technique, and such a technique has to be um, eliminated so as to obtain much profits. Next is ineffective or wasteful processes and procedures. So this is the main thing. To eliminate a waste procedure is one of the main objective of lean manufacturing. So a wasteful procedure or a process is eliminated to finish the product as early as possible and with much less much less cost incurred procedures. So for that purposes, lean engineering covers these all areas. Then removing these inefficiencies should streamline services, reduce cost, and ultimately provide savings for a specific product or service through the supply chain to the customer. So that is the three efficient thing. First one is streamline services. Streamline services means there is no reduction in time, or the time is effectively used for producing the product. Such a service is known as streamline services. Next is reduce the cost incurred. So the cost incurred during manufacturing is reduced, along with inventory holding cost is reduced, and this ultimately provide savings for the specific product. So we will be incurring more profits, and that profits is then utilized for the purchase of next batch of raw materials. So such a thing is known as savings. So from the profit incurred from the product, that sufficient amount of money then is used for as capital for producing the product. So these are the areas that lean manufacturing covers. Next, we will look at the benefits of lean manufacturing. So basically, there are four benefits. First one is eliminate waste. Next is improve quality. Then reducing cost. And the last one, reducing time. So four benefits are there for lean manufacturing. So I have termed it as LM, that is lean manufacturing. Okay, first one is eliminate cost. So, eliminate waste. So, waste is a negative factor for cost, deadlines, and resources. So, that is what is coming under eliminate waste. So, three types of waste they are mentioning: cost, that is every incurred cost, along with the holding cost, stationary cost, the process cost, manufacturing process cost. So, these are all the costs that is incurred here. Then deadlines include time for the production process, or time for design, time for preparing the prototype. So such a things are coming under deadlines. Then resources in the terms I have told you, where what you do in a lathe bit. So the lathe, after doing the lathe, you are obtaining waste materials, right? So such a waste materials are classified under resources of waste. So these all have to be eliminated. That is the benefits. These all will be eliminated in terms of lean manufacturing system. It provides no value to products or services. So such the wastes are not given any value under LM or lean manufacturing. That is the first point, or the first benefit of LM. Then next comes improve quality. So how is the quality improved? Quality is improved in terms of selecting a process that is optimal and faster for the production process to obtain with an economical mode of production process. So an economical method is given for improving the quality. So improved quality allows company to stay competitive and meet the changing needs and wants of customers. So once you improve the quality, A customer will prefer the product of that quality rather than from another company. Okay, so this company or the company that produces the quality product will incur much profits. Okay, that is the advantage of improving the quality. Then designing process to meet these expectation and desires keep you ahead of the competition and keeping quality improvement at the forefront. So the processes are selected on basis of quality and lean manufacturing by reducing waste. So that is how another benefit of LM is categorized. Next comes reducing cost. So some costs are incurring during manufacturing process. So I told you about the various costs that is incurred. Then overproduction or having more materials than is required creates storage costs. So that is what is we have studied in the last module, that is inventory holding cost. So such a thing is happening only because of overproduction. So we have to, due to overproduction, we have to store the products at inventory. So inventory storage cost will be incurring, which can be reduced through better processes and material management. So implementing a agility technique along with the producing the least amount of product to keep the demand alive. That is what is done in lean manufacturing. Next, reducing time. So wasting time with inefficient working practice is a waste of money too. So we are wasting the time necessary for the production process. So if such a time is present, we are eliminating the time incurred or eliminating the process during which this wastage of time occurs. So eliminating that will reduce the time, thereby improving the quality and the production number of products. So that is how that are the benefits of lean manufacturing. Next are the principles of lean manufacturing. So there are basically 5 principles: value, map the value stream, create a flow, establish a pull system, then finally comes perfection. So 5 types of principles. So we will look each and every one of them one by one. First one is value. So what is value? Value is determined from the perspective of customer and relates to how much they are willing to pay for the products or services. So it is always based on the customer point of view, not the company point of view. So the company may term as the product may be this quality or that quality, and it must incur such a profit or such rupees, etc. So there is a phase in which after prototyping, we are sending out a beta version to the customers to know their feedback. So this is done to observe or to find out what is the customer's point of view on this particular product. So that is what is the basis of such an operation was there during product flow cycle. So one of the levels in which they determine the customer point of view is value. So we are determining a value of the product, or we are determining the MRP of the product on basis of how the customer will pay or how much the customer needs. Okay, that is how a value is determined. Next is this value is then created by the manufacturer or service provider who would seek to eliminate waste and cost to meet the optimal price for customer while also maximizing products. So that is what is done in, if the customer finds out a product is worth only this much or it is worth only at this price, then the company looks at that price and they will minimize all the waste incurred. Okay, they will minimize all the waste incurred so as to obtain a manufacturing cost below the customer optimal price. So if you are setting a optimal price by means of the customer's point of view, and we are always preparing a manufacturing cost in which the manufacturing cost incurred will be always lower than the optimal price suggested by the customer. So if such a technique is implemented, we are obtaining profit on basis of the margin of difference between the manufacturing cost and the customer optimal price. So that is what our profit margin is determined. So as much as possible, if you reduce the manufacturing cost, more amount of profit is incurred. So that is how we maximize the profits incurred, and thereby the value determined by the customer. Next is map the value stream. So what is map the value stream? So this is the uh, value stream mapping of a software. And so you can see here future state value stream mapping for software development. So this is how they map a value stream. So you can see supplier, list manager, client. Okay, three different levels of our product cycle. So you can see here approved request, all requests. So the client gives all requests to the list manager. List manager approves certain requests and give it to the supplier, and supplier creates a processes for the product flow into the Plutora. Plutora is inventory here, and from the inventory it is then given to the client by means of order from the release manager. So that is how, so you can see information flow is there. So for each and every step you can see here, okay, each and every step it is determined here 4 2 2 2. So this 4 2 2 are the values that is mapped for each of the methods here. So you can see the designing phase is here, and it is termed as a value of 4. So more value is given for designing procedure because it employs various simulation procedures, experiment procedures, and sufficient fund has to be given to that department to conduct such designs. So that is why it is given a value of 4. While in the case of develop, only 2 value is given, so it can be easily developed. That is what is the meaning of value here. Next comes the testing section. So in the testing section, once we are developing it, prototypes are developed, and then we are testing it by means of a test team, and we are obtaining results. So such a place is also not costlier than designing session, so the value here also is 2. Then comes the last one, build a team. Build a team in the sense we are preparing skilled workers and laborers for taking over the production cycle and then producing products which is then further sent to the client. So that is what is here. It is known as the value stream mapping. So each and every processes that takes are shown here. Okay, 0.5 hours, 5 days to 5 hours, then 1 day 1.5 hours, 5 day 5 hours. So these are all how 5 days and 5 hours are taken for designing, then 1 day and 1.1 hours are taken for developing, 5 days and 5 hours are taken for testing, 1 day and 5 hours are taken for building a team, and it follows. Okay, this is the time ladder, and this is 3 sections are there. Information flow, wherein client gives the request to the list manager and to here, and the product flow in which the products are transferred. So from design to develop, develop to test to build, then further deployment. So this all comes under product flow, and last comes the time ladder. So this is how the value is mapped, or the value stream is mapped from one section to another. So the principle involves analyzing the materials and other resources required to procedure a product or service with the aim of identifying waste and improvements. So that is why we are doing a value stream analysis. So in the case of value stream analysis, we are analyzing materials and resources required to produce a product. We are analyzing the methods for using the materials for producing a product which aim to reduce waste and improve the quality. That is what is done in that is what is meant by mapping the value stream. Next, the value stream covers the entire life cycle of a product from raw materials to, sorry, it is not visible. Okay, raw materials to disposal. Okay, that is what is covered under value stream. So it covers the entire life cycle of a product from raw materials to disposal. So for any products that is kept over the period it is manufactured inside the inventory is disposed. An example is medicines. So medicines once stored after the expiry date, or food products that is stored after the expiry date is naturally avoided, or it is thrown away or disposed. So these all comes under the life cycle of the product or the product design, and these all incur cost, right? So we are determining each cost that is, or each value that is obtained in each and every department. That is the function of mapping here. Next comes each stage of the production cycle needs to be examined for waste, and anything that does not add value should be removed. Okay, every stages that is operating here. So you can see here also there are stages, and in these stages there is transportation by truck or transportation by aeroplane. So these are all coming under each sectors, and here are the values that will be given to each and every department. So each stage is analyzed for waste, and all collectively the waste is then eliminated. So in one department, maybe time may be a factor. In another department, sufficiently in a developed department, maybe the procedure produces more waste in terms of raw materials. So that is another waste. Then another phase of testing. Testing takes too long, so personals, skilled persons are not present. These are all wastes incurring in each and every stages, and these are pooled together, and the total wastage is categorized. So each stage has to be studied to find out the total waste. Then comes chain alignment is often recommended as a means to achieve this step. So this such an arrangement shown here is known as a chain alignment. Here we are determining each steps that is coming under a particular department, and we are studying each stage here. So maybe the first one here, the second one here, third one here, fourth one. So they are checking if there is any waste occurring in this work, and we are optimizing which procedure or at how much time the research or the testing or the development should take place, and then sufficiently passing it to the industry. So that is how lean manufacturing is done. So I'll wind up today's session, and the rest we will study in the next class.